The AFC North is a bloodbath masquerading as an NFL division. It is, quite possibly, the best overall division in the entire league. From the constant Super Bowl contenders in the Cincinnati Bengals, to even the Browns, who many people believe to be serious playoff contenders this season. But within such a stacked division, how do I think our Pittsburgh Steelers are going to stack up? What will be our win record this season? And what teams from this war zone we call a division do I think will be able to fight their way into a spot in the playoffs? My name is Brian, and this is Steel Nation.
Here we go, Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl, here we go.
Before we get started, I just want to make sure everybody watching is aware that I am a Steelers fan, if it wasn't already obvious from the channel name. And thusly, I'll have a certain bias towards our boys in the black and gold. So if that information causes you to take issue with any of my predictions, then I don't know what to tell you. So week 1, we start out with a home game against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the 49ers are an amazing team. Like last year, they could have made the Super Bowl if they hadn't gone through the carousel of quarterbacks during the divisional round. It was the divisional round, wasn't it? I think it was. It was either the divisional round or it was the championship. I think it was the divisional round, though. Don't quote me on that. But during that game, their quarterbacks just kept dropping like flies. You started out with, in the season, you started out with Jimmy Garoppolo. No. Yes, it was Jimmy Garoppolo. Then you went on to Trey Lance, who also got hurt. Then it went to Brock Purdy. You get to the divisional round, and everybody gets hurt again. Brock Purdy gets his shoulder taken out, and they have to go down to their backup, who also gets hurt. So they then have to go to, what was it? Christian McCaffrey they had to play at quarterback. So yeah, that's not great for them. But aside from the quarterback position, which will more than likely be filled by Brock Purdy this year, I feel like San Francisco still has a very good team, so this could be a very close game. But after seeing all 3 of the preseason games, I feel like our offense is much stronger than it was last year. If we were just going off of what I saw last year, I think we would be losing this game. But after the preseason, I think this is a very close but win for us nonetheless. So that is our first win of the season. Week 2, we are still at home against the Cleveland Browns. Now, I also have us winning this game. It's going to be another close game because the Browns, as I said, are a good team this year. Like, they're scarily good. Like, I think they're better this year than we were last year, which is terrifying. But as you'll see when we get to the end of the predictions, I don't think they're going to be as good as we are this year, which is why I have us beating them in week 2. Week 3, we play the Raiders. We're going to be away against the Raiders week 3. This is another game I feel like it should be an easy win. The Raiders, I think they've gotten a little bit better over the offseason, but I don't think they're better enough to allow us to, have to fight. Again, though, we have lost games that we should have won in the past, so I'm putting this in the win column, but as every single game, it could end up being a loss, and that sucks. Week 3 should be an easy away game against the Houston Texans, but we have a very bad tendency to lose games that we should win, and so I'm not holding my breath, but I do not think this is going to be one of the 4 wins that Houston gets. I think this is another win for us. Week 5, we're going to be home against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Ravens, as a divisional opponent, are going to be out for blood. Because we're always looking to completely destroy the rest of our division. That's why I called this the war zone that we call a division. But because we're at home against the Ravens, we've got all that energy. I predict us coming off a 4-game winning streak. I think we win this game too. I think we can do it. Because, again, we're at home. There's that home team advantage. And the Ravens, there's just something. Every Steelers fan hates the Ravens. So if we lose this game, it could happen, but I think we're going to win against Baltimore at home in week 5. Now, week 6, we have a super early bye week. Now, this is the week that I can see starters, if they're not doing well, being replaced. This is where I could probably see some trades happening if things need to happen. But overall, super early bye week. Not a big fan of how early this bye week is. But, some teams have to have an early bye week, and this just happens to be our year. Week 7, we face the Rams in Los Angeles. So, this is another away game. But I think it's going to be a victory for us. I think we're going to be able to beat the Rams in this scenario, continuing our winning streak. But I don't think that's going to last forever, as in Week 8, we face the Jacksonville Jaguars at home, and I believe we're going to lose this game. Now, I want to stand on this one for a second. Jacksonville last season was a really good team. There was a lot going for them. There's a lot going against them. They made the playoffs. And Trevor Lawrence looks amazing. The entire Jags offense looks incredible. The defense is really good too. I believe this is going to be either our first or second loss of the season. But, and this is a big thing, we can win this game. But we have had a history of just being destroyed by the Jags in the past. For some reason, we cannot seem to win against this Florida team. It's so strange. But you got to have a loss sometime during a season. There is a curse, and I got to keep this in the back of my mind. No team that's gone, I think it's 8-0 in the regular season, has been able to win the Super Bowl. So, getting this loss out of the way cuts us from getting an 8-0 winning streak, so that curse does not affect us. Do I believe in curses? You be the judge. Next up, Week 9 against the Tennessee Titans. I believe this is going to be another win. The Titans are looking good this year, but I don't think they're looking good enough to beat us, but we'll have to see. Week 10, Green Bay Packers, another win. What a surprise. This is another home game against Green Bay. I think we're pretty good, And then Green Bay doesn't have Aaron Rodgers. They were not great last year. I haven't seen much from Jordan Love this season, but, I've been told he's okay. He's not great. I just think we can beat them. I think we've got the offense to do it. I think we've got the defense to keep them from scoring so many points. But we'll see. I'm putting this down as a win, but anything could happen. Next up, Week 11, I have us losing at Cleveland. So we're playing Cleveland in Cleveland. I think we're going to lose that game because, as I said, the Browns are good. They might be as good as we were last season. Heck, they might be as good as we are this season. And we're going to be in Cleveland. I think this is when we falter. I think this is going to be like the start of when we start to kind of lose grip throughout the season. I think we're going to be really good, but we're going to have some losses. And I think Cleveland is going to be where those losses really start. Like Jacksonville, I think is a loss because it's Jacksonville. We're notoriously bad against Jacksonville. Cleveland, I think they're gonna beat us here. Followed up by another away game in Cincinnati. Even without Joe Burrow, I think we lose this game. I mean, I'm being 100% honest with you. The Bengals are they're amazing. And, I don't hate the Bengals as much as the rest of the Steelers fan base does. If they win a Super Bowl, I'd be okay with it. You can flame me in the comments for it. As long as the Browns and the Ravens don't win another Super Bowl, I don't give a crap if Cincinnati wins one. They deserve it. Joe Burrow deserves a Super Bowl, in my opinion. You can have your own opinion. That's the really good thing about having opinions. But I still think we lose this game against the Bengals in Cincinnati. It's as simple as that. Next up, we have it should be an easy victory against the Arizona Cardinals at home. They're coming to us. They're coming to our domain. I think that's an easy victory for us. It's the Cardinals. I mean, come on. Who thinks the Cardinals can beat us? Nobody. But they did win in the preseason, so who knows? Kyler Murray could be really good. But I think we're going to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Then we're going to move on, and we're going to beat the New England Patriots. They don't have Tom Brady anymore. Is it Mac Jones that's playing? It's not Mac Darnold. It's Mac Jones. Is okay. He's not the greatest quarterback ever. But I still think that we can win this game. Again, it's another game that we can lose because we've been notoriously bad against New England. Though that's also because of the curse of Brady. But more curses, we don't got to worry about it. Okay, next up, Indianapolis Colts in Indiana. I think we win. the Colts are looking better than they were last season. There's a chance that they're really good. But I don't think Mayonnaise Man is going to really get much better until the season, while the season goes on. So I think we've got a good shot at beating them here. Follow it up then by a win against Cincinnati, a revenge win at home. I think we're going to sweep all of not sweep, but every home game we have against a division rival, I think we win. That's my thought. Because we've always been good at home against our division rivals. It's our home stadium. Of course, home team advantage. I'm pushing this always. But I think because we beat the Cincinnati Bengals once last year with Mitch Trubisky. So, I think we can beat them at home with a healthy Kenny Pickett, the number one defense in the league, and George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Calvin Austin III. I think he's going to have a breakout season. Allen Robinson II, I think, is what his name is. Juju, and then all those other guys. I feel like we're going to do good against the Bengals at home. So that's going to be, I got that chalked down as a win for us. Week 17, the penultimate week, we have a win at Seattle versus the Seattle Seahawks. This is another one that could go either way depending on the season, but I think it's very likely that we're going to win this game. Unless Geno Smith makes a massive improvement and the Seahawks bring back the Legion of Boom, I don't think that they're going to be able to win. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible for them to win. It's possible we just go 0-16. 0-17, sorry. It's impossible to go 0-16. It's possible to go 0-17. But I don't think that's happening, just like I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are going to beat us. Can it happen? Yes. Do I hope it doesn't happen? Yes. But I don't think it will happen. But week 18, coming off that Seattle high, we're going to Baltimore, and I feel like this is going to be an overtime game that Baltimore is just a little bit better. It comes down to the battle of the kickers, and Justin Tucker is just a little bit better than Chris Boswell. I feel bad about having us lose the final game of the season, and I'd be 100% willing to trade this this loss with Seattle and win this game and lose in Seattle, but I don't see that happening. I see, if anything, I think we might lose both of these games, but I definitely think we're going to lose at Baltimore. I feel like we're going to split the division in half, win all 3 home games, lose all 3 away games. That's how I predict our season's going to go. That final loss gives us a 12-5 record, which I think is just enough to get us into either the 6th or 7th playoff spot. And as for the rest of the division, I have them stacking up like this. Winning the division, I have either the Cincinnati Bengals with a record of 14-3 or the Baltimore Ravens with a record of 13-4. Now, the reason that I'm not settling on Cincy to win right off the bat is due to Joe Burrow's calf injury, which I've seen some people say could keep him off the field for the first 6 games. The first 2 of which are divisional games against Cleveland and Baltimore. And as good as the Bengals are as a whole, without Joe Burrow, I don't see them winning either of these first 2 divisional games. Meaning that their record would be 12-5, allowing for the Ravens to clinch that top spot in the division, as well as allowing the Pittsburgh Steelers to slip up into that majestic number 2 spot, due to us splitting the division during our 12-5 season, while the Bengals would only win 2 divisional games. And of course, this leaves the Cleveland Browns once again in last place in the division, though this time with a respectable record of 11-6. Now, as a football fan worth more than salt, I'm aware of how unpredictable each game can be. Heck, as a Steelers fan, I've seen us lose games that we should have easily won and win games that we had no business winning. So don't take this as my wholly 100% accurate betting map to winning all of the money in your pool. Instead, give me your opinions in the comments. How do you think the Steelers will do? Or, if you're a fan of another team, then let me know how you think they will do. Just make sure to keep all conversations civil. With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget to check out the rest of our Steel Nation launch day videos. All those links are on screen now. I've been Brian, and as always, go Steelers.